Orange Crush benchmark number 5. So this is probably a favorite of mine because it is so straightforward. It is intervals on the rower and on the bike. So how I would set up class is that you have bikes here kind of angled facing the clock. So 1, 2, 3, boxes in the middle, and then rowers sitting up, again, kind of angled facing the clock, just for a really cool visual effect. And to let people know that all we're doing today is rowing and biking, and we're going hard. I think a really big thing with this workout in particular is that you got to be able to talk it up, and you got to be able to encourage people during that workout and find ways of saying things other than, great job, keep going. Tell a story about a time when you were pushing hard through a workout, or share a quote from a mental toughness thing, or whatever it is. You just don't want to be boring and sitting there. Cool. The other part of this is making sure that you've got some hard music going and that you're cranking it up when they're working, turning it down when they're resting, because this is definitely one where if you don't do the extras, it's a shitty class. But if you do the extras to make this a big experience, man, it's going to be cool, and you can get people pumped up for this. So, all that talking, what the workout is, for the general warm-up, I would just have people maybe go through the PVC warm-up if you wanted to, but then just get on a foam roller, and depending on the classes that you've had that week, just working anything that might be tight, sore, needing a little extra attention, and if people don't mention anything in particular, make sure that you just have some things in mind. Always a good idea to hit quads, or calves, quads, I'd say lats, upper back, just making sure you're really digging into a few things with a foam roller or a lacrosse ball or a little bit of both. The specific warm-up, explaining the workout, they're going to be partnered up with somebody else. So let's say I'm partnered with Cindy. That was the first name that came to mind. I'm partnered with Cindy. I'm going to hop on the rower here. I'm going to row for 2.5 minutes, and then there will be 20 seconds of transition for Cindy to hop on the rower. And then, while Cindy's on the rower, I'm just resting for 2.5 minutes. But I'm getting ready to hop on the bike after those 2.5 minutes. So I'm going to bike for 2.5 while she's resting, and then 20 seconds of transition. So she's hopping on the bike. I'm resting for the next 2.5 minutes while she's on there, and then it'll be 2 minutes on the rower and on the bike, 1.5 minutes on the rower and on the bike, and then finally 1 minute on the rower and on the bike. So again, you should be resting while your partner's working, and everybody's hitting 2.5 minutes on both the rower and the bike each time. What I tell people is that, especially during those longer intervals, you've got a lot of rest, so you should be going freaking hard on there. To the point where maybe for the first 1.5 minutes of your 2.5 minutes of rest, you're just sitting on the boxes that are set out in the middle, sitting there, recovering, or laying on the floor, and then maybe for the last minute, 45 seconds, you're kind of doing a little bit of walking before you get on to your next machine and go for your next interval. So yeah, definitely tell people, do not be afraid to sit or to lay down on the floor in between. That's where we should be getting with these intervals. We should be going hard. We've got a lot of rest. It is a benchmark workout, so make sure that you are having people record their calories for each machine every single round, so that we can get as good and solid of numbers on this as possible and make it really nice and repeatable for next time. Speaking of which, since it's a benchmark, make sure you're looking back at the last time that we did this workout to get their scores from last time, to be able to congratulate people at the end that beat those scores. So, at the end, I would just do maybe some really easy stretching. So maybe a pencil stretch and a nice easy notebook. Nothing that really has them having to hold into things. People should be freaking smoked by the end of this. Again, talk it up, have fun with it. This is one where you have to bring the energy or it is going to suck. So bring the energy, get big, have a lot of fun with it, challenge people, especially during those first few working intervals that are pretty long. Make sure people aren't going out too hot. Sometimes you can almost over-talk it and people go out way too hot and then just die for the last like minute and a half or 2 minutes on there. So yeah, that is Orange Crush benchmark number 5. Have fun with it.